Hello everybody, welcome to Adobe Live. We would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we are creating and streaming from today and pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. My name is Flynn. We are live today. It's a special show. We've got our guest today has been very kind to give up 2 hours of his time to dive into the world of branding and creating a brand from scratch. It's going to be so awesome. If you have any questions, we are live, so throw them in chat. We're going to take a little bit of a Q&A break about halfway through. Let's have some fun. Let's introduce our guest. It is Jeremy Mura. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
Hey, dude, how you going? I'm excited for today. Thanks so much.
Me too. We haven't done this kind of style in a long time. I'm very happy that you're able to give up some of your time to do it. We're going to hang out for about 2 hours. We might, who knows? It'll be something like that. We're going to take a Q&A break in the middle so that Jeremy can, rest his hands because he does go really fast when he's designing. If you've seen any of our streams before, so we don't want his computer to explode here live on Adobe Live. So Jeremy, if people aren't aware of you or your work, do you want to give us kind of the elevator pitch, who you are and what you do?
100%. So my name is Jeremy. I'm from Sydney, Australia. I'm a brand designer and full-time content creator. I've got sort of this futuristic style, love working with logos, love working with like sort of tech startups as well. And I also teach graphic designers how to run a full-time freelance business. So if you're ever into like learning how to do logos or branding, basically that's what I do. I've got courses on Skillshare as well if you want to learn all my process. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. And as we're going through today, I always learn something new from Jeremy, even though I have a background in graphic design. I've been doing this for a long time. So there's always something to learn from Jeremy. And I love branding, design, graphic design, and building stuff from scratch. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. Let's share your screen. We'll talk about kind of the project and we'll see how far we go.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. Vox AI. Let's go.
Let's go. So yeah, this is an intelligent voice assistant. I got some inspiration the other day. I jumped on this website called MindOS, and it sort of has like this assistant. It's more like a talk, and you can like talk with it and chat with it. So
I haven't seen this one before. Okay.
Yeah, it's in beta. It's called MindOS. Really cool, and you can actually craft your own personalized like AI version, and it gives you like these characters, which is super cool. So I wanted to create something similar to this, but obviously different logo, different style. But yeah, so the brand traits will be like intelligent, sophisticated, powerful. And then the logo style I'm going for is like sleek, modern, with the blue and gray tones. And yeah, maybe a bit of vibrant color with a gradient or something like that. And so yeah, that's what we're doing. Got some like taglines and some text if I want to play around with some text, which is cool. Did that in ChatGPT, you know what it is.
Yeah.
But got my little bit of a mood board going here. So I've created sort of this 3D character that's sort of like your main assistant, and it's all about this idea of like she's your AI assistant talks to you, you can chat with it. It's something you can use on your phone, so we can use that. And I've loved like this sort of futuristic feel. Maybe we might use like waves or dots to think about, like I think about a voice as a waveform. Right. It's a frequency. So these motifs with sort of like these moving like dots or lines can sort of evoke that feeling of like a voice. So we're gonna go with sort of this style, and I love these blues and these gradients here. We'll probably do something with that.
So something kind of futuristic, got to be pretty modern, and you're looking for those threads that can relate it to the purpose, like what it actually does. Exactly
right. So that's the initial idea, and I kicked it off with some fonts. I just downloaded this font from Adobe Fonts. Adobe Fonts is super great. I love using it. It's called Transducer. It's got a lot of styles like condensed version, regular, and then like extended. Yeah. I'm really loving like this sort of this X or this extended. It's got a futuristic feel, and like even this O is like different. You know what I mean? It's like interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. Is that something you look for when you're looking for like at the beginning, you're looking for a font family? Are you looking for like a really wide family? Like, is that important?
Yeah, it's really, really important because, for example, if I want to have something for a paragraph and then have something for headlines, I want to make sure that it sort of melds well together and has that contrast. So that's why I love doing that. So a few font sites that I like going to is actually like Envato Elements, got a lot of fonts here. super great. You can download heaps of there.
There's a lot of stuff there. We were just chatting before. I was thanking Jeremy because I've just had so many side projects kind of come up, and I'm like, I think I need to just try one of these subscription models to just save some time from building things from scratch. And oh my gosh, it saved me so much time.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. I've also loved fonts. The cool thing with the Adobe is I can search by like tags, so like geometric, and I can search like there's heaps of cool like fonts here. And then Font Share is another great one that I love using. You can just type your text in and you can see at a glance, I can just scroll through really quickly and suss out which is the vibe I'm going for. So,
nice.
So yeah. Cool. So I'll just start off by like just starting to, because I've already sort of got the font. This was another font here. It's a bit rounded. I might play with that. We'll see, because it's got a really cool X. But for now, I'll just stick with this font, and I'll just start duplicating it, and then, you know, play around with like what feels good. So I might go with the black version. Let's try a sort of thinner version. And I'm starting to feel like, okay, does this feel powerful, sophisticated? Maybe it's too bold. Maybe we should go into uppercase. So then we can go type, and I'll go change uppercase, which is good.
Yep.
And this just gives me like a sense of like, okay, what's the feeling I'm going for? Like what it's working. Now for me, I feel like this one's probably the best option, because lowercase feels more sophisticated and feels more like high end. Whereas all caps is like sort of more bold and shouting in your face. So I think for this, we'll play around with this one.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Like thinking about like emerging tech and AI and all the conversations that happen around it. Do you want to be fully techie, or do you want to have a little bit, soften the edges a little bit, so to speak, when it comes to a personal assistant? Like, because you're kind of trying to kind of humanize AI a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to go too much with it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to play something like this. So I've just
just for those joining us, if you have any questions, we are live, so throw questions in the chat. So we're going along.
Ask any question you like. Always love answering questions.
How long do you think you've been using Illustrator for?
10 years, mate. 10 years. I think I used Photoshop in like year 10. So I started off with Photoshop, and then I think I used InDesign as well, and then I think I used, and then Illustrator was after all that. So Illustrator was probably when I was in like year 12, or just when I finished high school, that I started playing with it. So I graduated in 2011, so it's a long time ago.
Oh jeez, I feel old, man. Please don't do that.
Getting old, mate.
Yeah, I mistakenly followed this Instagram account that's like all 90s kids stuff, and it's obviously just nostalgia and everything. And then there was like footage of like the year that I graduated. They're doing like each year, they're finding footage, and like actual like would have been film back then, like not that old, but like it would have been like on a tape. Like digital was still kind of a tape, and I was like, oh my gosh,
that's crazy.
Made me feel so old.
Did you used to use like VHS or anything like that?
Yeah. I've got all those stories. Yeah, we used to record like music by watching MTV and sitting there ready to press record on a videotape.
Oh wow, bro.
That's like a 90s kid thing. You do the same thing with the radio. You'd have your cassette in, and you have to wait for like your song to come on. So you hope that a good song comes on, and then you quickly record it. But it would always cut off. You'd never get it perfect. So then you would press stop, hopefully at about the right time, and then the next time you leave the tape in, and then another song comes on you like, so you press record again. And so you'd always get this overlap. So there's so many songs that have nothing to do with each other that always remind me of another song, because in my head that comes on next, because that was the cassette.
Oh my gosh, man!
And here we are talking about AI.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm just customizing this X, so I love adding like just little shapes, and it just like adds a little bit of, makes it dynamic. You know, pulling in, maybe I want to pull in the anchor points to make it more weird. Like doing a logo, I always try and like find ways to make things feel like custom.
Yeah, so you don't want to just have that's kind of cool with it's like a little smiley face in there.
Yeah, that's true, exactly. It looks like a smile.
And because Vox Pops like isn't voice audio thing.
Hey, let's go.
Nice. Yeah.
Serendipitous moment.
Yeah. It happens, doesn't it? Like you'll be
What?
kind of just doing stuff and, you know,
Yeah, that's it. That's
something
it.
will just pop out.
Love it.
That's great. It's like the Amazon like smile like is really good. It's like got the tick, but it's also a smile.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like the double meaning, and it's nice to find those little things in the negative space.
100%.
I think of what it reminds me of. Like TiVo or something. I think there's a brand. No, it's not TiVo.
Timo? No, something.
It's reminding me of something. I just can't think of it. So this is like a given brief, right? And is this something that you recommend to people who are just kind of starting out or trying to fill their portfolio with the sort of work they're trying to do, is to give themselves like briefs and tasks to do to fill their portfolio?
Yeah, I think one of the easiest ways, if you don't have work or you're struggling to get clients, is actually creating your own briefs. And it's just a great way to get your portfolio going and start practicing.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in sitting around waiting. You know, you just got to get out there and start creating. You know, that's the best thing you can do when you're starting out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might have been TiVo that I was thinking of, but it does look very different. Joe's saying Eva from Wall-E. Maybe. I did watch Wall-E the other day.
Did you? That's awesome. Do you have Disney Plus?
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Because I was gonna
Kids.
say, I think it's on. Yeah, when
Kids
you
and Marvel stuff. Watch the Marvel stuff.
Yeah. You got it when you got kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets a thrashing. What's the hardest part, do you think, about starting a branding project from scratch?
The hardest part, I think, just finding the right inspiration, building a mood board. Can take hours, like, to find the right images. Like, when you're looking for a specific like style, it's like, it's not easy finding the right images, and I feel like that can just take up so much of your time.
Yeah. So that's kind of towards the end though, right? Like you've done the branding and you're trying to find images, or is it at the beginning when you're researching for your mood board?
I think at the beginning, beginning stage. But if you're working with a client, it's like a little different. Like, you just want to make sure that the brief is like all set and clear, so you know that you're going in the right direction, or else you feel like you might go in the wrong direction and waste time. So you want to make sure like that it's all like clear and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm just experimenting, playing around with the widths and the styles. I don't know if I'll keep these lines here. Maybe when it comes to a logo, this is a logo type, but I'll work on an icon soon. You want to make sure that it's like, it feels custom and it's not too, like, you want to make it simple, really. You don't want to go too overboard.
Yeah. So you just like tend to just do as many just variations, tweak things here and there, change the weight size, that sort of thing, and just keep moving on, just iterating and iterating.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of design. Like, whenever you go on Twitter or whatever, you see these guys like, oh, this is what design really is, and you see the artboard, it's a mess. It's just like all this stuff, everywhere. Different logos, different iterations, colors, and design's a bit wacky, sometimes.
Yeah, I had someone refer to it as the logo graveyard, because it just scattered around all the logos that didn't make it just to get this one.
Yeah.
That.
Interesting.
And do you find that you tend to have more logos that are just kind of text-based, or more logos that have the title and the icon or word mark? Like, do you gravitate towards any of those particular fields, or is it just depend on the project?
I think it depends. I'm very a flexible designer, so for me, I can do a variety of stuff. But for me, I love working with logo types and icons, like just bold icons, sharp edges. Nothing too retro, nothing too elegant. I try and my style is very bold and sort of masculine, futuristic, that type of thing. So yeah.
And do you think clients kind of you kind of attract those clients because that's what your portfolio and style generally is?
Yeah, 100%. You attract what you put out there. So, it matters what your output is, because that's all they see at first glance. Like, that's the impression they're gonna get of you. So first impressions matter, and that's why I say you gotta be selective.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this V. I think I'm kind of happy with this, keeping it simple. I would like to do something with the V, but I think I want to work on an icon now. So I'm just going to go back to my mood board. And I like this idea of sort of these, moving waves. That's kind of cool. So I might do something with that. And I wonder even if I can do something like this. All right. Now, one of the cool things I like to do is use something called the blend tool.
I love the blend tool. My God. The blend tool is like the first thing, because blend tool's been in Illustrator forever, but it's still so relevant. It's one of the tools that have just survived the test of time.
Survived, yeah.
Like, it's because I remember using the blend tool super early on and just couldn't understand how it was doing all this work for me. Like, how does it, you know what I mean? It was magic at the time, and it still kind of is.
100%.
Yeah, but let's see the demo here. We'll see it live. But it's so cool because you're changing the steps on the fly. And what you're doing here is so interesting because the more you do it, the more lines you put in, it actually starts visually looking like a gradient as well. Exactly.
And then when you add color, it will start looking interesting, So we can just do that. So we use that shape, and then we can scale it up. Obviously, it will change the scale of the stroke unless we change that in the settings. You can always go transform and click scale strokes. So if you don't want, if you want the size to be the same, then
you don't have to expand.
I'm gonna expand it, but this is for if you want to still have the editable. Actually, because it's a blend, I actually don't have to do it like that, but anyway, because I was thinking of strokes, but I think it would still scale it anyway. But anyway, all right, we'll do this.
That's just interesting because I would have expanded it then first, but I think I understand what you're saying. If you manually made 3 lines of strokes or something, you could when you go to transform, you can change it so that it scales proportionately, so you're not.
Yeah.
Cool.
It won't make too much of a difference. You can always go in the stroke panel and just play with that. But all right, cool. So I really like these colors. I'm just gonna extract those. Bring that down. So now if I go because I've expanded it now, I gotta let me so if you have the blend tool, because it's if you leave it in the blend form, you can just do one side of the stroke that you blended with and make it one color, and then the other side can be the other color, and it'll do it'll
blend the color as well as the coordinates, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you can do it like that. Cool. This one is expanded, so what I would have to do is press object compound path make,
Yeah.
And then I could go to my gradient tool, and let's say maybe you want to do like a radial one. I drag these in like this. Maybe the dark.
Then you've got a bit more control, I would say, over.
Yeah, exactly. And so, we can create something like that. Obviously, the this is very harsh. So what if I go like 20%? See, makes a little bit of difference. Or we can just get rid of this one. You can always drop the percentage, and so that's pretty cool. We can do a linear gradient as well. That would work. I like changing the stroke as well. It might be too small if I go like 25 points, but maybe 0.5. And I can always go back and like change the blend.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you can see this, like I can, because I have control of that stroke, I can like go and like do some, weird stuff
Really
or whatever.
Stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And now it looks like a fish. So so many really cool things we can do.
Alessandra was asking in chat. Hello, Alessandra. Nice to have you here with us. What brand is this? It's giving me business vibes. Yeah, it's probably the blue and like the dark blue and purpley kind of color and stuff. So this is for an AI voice assistant called Vox. When that original, it's the one on the left with the gradient, there was a brand that came out with something like, not like that, but using clearly used the blend tool. And it was something I can't remember the brand at all, but it was released on brand new, like under consideration. If you've seen that, if you guys are into branding and you're not aware of that, definitely go check it out. I think it's subscription model now, but very cool, very good, like in-depth analysis into kind of the newest brands and logos and stuff that come out, and a pretty interesting chat community. And someone came out with this brand. It's kind of like not a huge brand or anything like that, but it was posted on Twitter, and when you scrolled on your phone, it gave this optical illusion that it was moving.
What?
Yeah, and I think that it would do the same thing if you put what you did there on the left, like onto your phone, you scrolled down, the way the black and everything, like it's one of those optical illusion things. And, everyone was like, these guys are genius. Like these people are geniuses that created this like logo because it does all this. And I remember they came out and they said, that's just a happy accident. We didn't actually mean to do that. It's like amazing.
That always happens, man. In the process of design, just like create weird stuff.
Yeah. So there you go.
So I'm playing around with sort of the letter V now. I customize it. It sort of looks like a W right now, but I like using, it's all about shape and form when it comes to like design. So it's all about like playing around.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting shape.
Yeah. And because it's still blending, all I got to do is press W, hold Alt or Option if you're on a Mac or PC, and then I get the steps back up. And it's all about creating, how many steps you want, and so you can get this cool. You don't want to go too much because it might be you won't really get the shape. So I try and like find a middle ground. So maybe like 26, and then. I'm going to expand this. If we go make a compound path, it would be cool if we could do like the freeform gradient, but if I want to rotate it, what does that look like?
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Alrighty. shape builder tool, pumped that out.
Yeah, just knock that out super quick, right? The A and the I.
Yep. Sometimes I always have like shapes left over and I'm like, yeah, I better clean that up. And then I can, let's play around with color. Maybe this one, we could have it like a simple color, or we could do a gradient as well. Look at a compound path. Change the angle, or maybe you want to go like 90 degrees or something. And I'll double click this stop, and it should like bring up swatch here. Then I click the lines at the top right corner, and then I can go like HSB, which is hue, saturation, brightness, and then I can like make it darker, and then bring it maybe to the deep blues or something, and just adds a gradient on the fly, just like that, maybe. And I want to make this one like a gray. And then I'll drop the opacity, maybe.
So adding a bit of like gradient to the.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm changing the gradient up. Yeah, because maybe the green's a bit too much. So I'm just sticking with sort of these blues. One of the things as well, you can see here on the stroke, because it's sort of got this loop. I wonder if I change it to round, it will get rid of that. So you can see that when the corner is like not looking good, you can just change it to round or bevel it off. As you can see.
Nice.
And obviously, if you have more time, you can spend time and playing around and all that. So I think I'm digging it. This feels a bit thin. The icon a bit.
When it's sitting next to the font, like the text to the right, or just in general.
I don't know. Maybe because it's sitting next to. But I think by itself it works. But if it's you know what I mean, or maybe you can use it as a texture. That's another way as well. If I go to transparency, overlay, or drop the opacity. I'm thinking maybe I should keep this white. White is always very harsh.
Like pure, like white without any kind of gray or cream or anything in it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why if you go to your color guide, you can do this and then find a monochromatic or something like that, and then you can sort of find, so you find a gray within that, the tint. It's like a tint of the color. That's what I like to do.
Nice. So it's still retaining like the color information, but it's changing the tint of it a little bit rather than finding a whole new color.
Exactly. And then one of the cool new tools as well with Illustrator is that we have the recolor tool. Oops.
Yeah, recolor. Making an appearance. Nice.
Yeah. Where is it here? Here, generative recolor.
That's it.
And so now we can just like type in whatever we want. Blue ocean or something. So basically you have all these, color options in your hand that you can use.
What does it think? Can you try like futuristic or something like that? I want to see what
Futuristic.
the machine thinks futuristic colors are.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so we got like a bright gradient. That's kind of futuristic.
Thinking neon a little bit. It's got some cyberpunk. I think cyberpunk is our future.
Cyberpunk. It's true though.
Neons. Yeah.
Yeah, neon does have that like vibe.
It's great. We did a quick little, Johanna and I did a stream around Firefly when kind of all these little features come out, and something we discovered was that you can use that generative color to create color from black and white logos as well. So if you're ever creating, yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you do exactly what you did, it'll still give you those options. It doesn't actually have to have color in it. So if you do your logo in grayscale, you could go there first if you wanted to and just pop out a whole bunch of color examples.
That's awesome. So useful, that tool.
It's really hard for me not to sing because I got the music in my ears. I know you can't hear it, but it's always hard for me not to.
I used to be able to hear it. Yeah, it's hard.
I know it was a Zoom like automatic ducking thing that they put into. I don't think they're thinking about streamers like using Zoom. It's like an automatic thing. I don't know. Something happened. I updated Zoom and it never worked the same. And, it obviously blocks it coming out unless I'm talking.
Gotcha.
But it goes straight into the streaming software. So everyone else hears it flat, like exactly the same. But just for you, you can only hear it when I talk. And then, of course, I'm talking. So I'm kind of talking over it.
Oh, well.
That's what we've worked out over the time.
Yeah. I'm going to quickly try something different.
Yeah.
We've got the rotate tool here.
Oh, yeah.
Another.
Start making some patterns.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Another thing as well, you can also do it with the repeat. So we've got radial, grid, or mirror, which is cool. So if we do like radial, that's another way to do it. So I can start playing with like cool patterns or something.
And how are you bringing up that slider? Is that slider just there and you're just clicking it?
Yep. If you hold control, it gets rid of it. But when you just select object, repeat and radial, it pops up, and then
that just exists there. So you're not holding down Alt or anything like that. You just get all these little handles. I don't remember those handles being there.
Exactly. Oh, really?
That? No. Huh. Must have missed it.
No, you did.
There we go.
And I can, make it wider or bigger or whatever. Let's bring it in. Like, that's kind of cool. I'm getting like a transformer type of vibe or something. And then I can expand that, right? I can make it a compound path if I want. And then I can go object, repeat. If we go grid, you can see it makes a pattern, or you can go object pattern make as well. That way it will make like a swatch for us.
Yeah, that's the way I like to do it. I like to have a swatch that I can just like click and apply it to any shape. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Jedi in YouTube, hello. You're working on your own font monogram at the moment. That's cool. That's very nice. Is that for a client? Is that for yourself? Quite like monograms, I think. It can be done really well if it's nice and subtle.
Yeah. Monograms are fun.
Arc reactor from Iron Man, anyone, says Johanna. It's been a long time since I've seen like the original Iron Man.
The original man. That was good.
Long time ago. It's like 30 movies ago.
30.
25 good ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any advice for our friend that's creating their own font monogram?
Any advice?
Yeah.
try and just try and figure out what areas you can intersect the letters, and make sure that the shading is right, that you can clearly see each letter like distinctively.
I'll also throw in that some letters are harder to put next to each other than others. We found this out a long
100%.
time ago. Where like some letters are beautiful together. I don't know.
Others suck, basically.
Yeah. Like if you have something like a B or an R, then the next letter goes into like a straight line. So if you had like a B and, I don't know, like B and an R, right? You're going to have flat line, then you've got this shape, and then you've got another flat line. Like that's kind of got a bit of friction there just from the get-go. But I don't know, if you had like a J and an L, right? You got a J and then you got an L, you got two flat lines and then two things go out to the side. Oh, you can just start playing with that like straight away.
100%.
So, we had a branding exercise with Australian Design Radio, and the short version is A, D, and R. And we had friends at Christopher Doyle & Co, which is a really fantastic brand designer, and they're awesome. And they kind of took it away and came back to us and sort of said, we really hate A, D, and R being together. They're so difficult. Like they're probably the three worst letters in the English language to be next to each other. But your name is too long, so it has to be ADR. So we're kind of forced to make it work.
Wow.
But yeah, they were like, oh, these letters do not go well together. Like, sorry about that.
It's like the whole thing of like ligatures. Like some letters, like if you do double F or double T, like those things you can connect them really easily.
Yeah, that's true. But it's tough, isn't it? If you're doing your own personal brand or you've got an established brand, you can't change it's very difficult to change the name. Like, I'm going to change your name because I don't like these letters together. It's not usually something you can do. So you just got to work through it. And they wrote back and said it's for a client. Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
It's nice. Like commercial project doing a monogram. I like that. Don't see it very often. When you have someone approach you, Jeremy, to work on a branding project, do they always have their name sorted? Or have you ever had someone come to you say, hey, we've got this like idea or this startup or this project we're about to start, get you on so early that they actually want you to help them with the naming as well?
For me, they typically always have the name. They've already done their brainstorming, or their friend had an idea. So they typically just just need the design. They've already done that. So
have you ever had someone come in with like a really terrible name? You don't have to tell me what it is.
Of course, yeah. I've had small businesses and like Aussies, and I'm like, you need to change the name. It's too long. It's not simple.
Right. No one's gonna be able to find it. SEO will be terrible. That sort of thing.
Yeah. And so what I do for them is like even if it's just like a basic thing, I'll go on, GoDaddy, look up domains, see what other alternatives are. I might do a bit of brainstorm exercise as well, and like not brainstorm, sorry, and like maybe just think of different. I'd mix words together and see like how that works.
Yeah.
So
it's a good trick, because and even on social media as well, it's like, well, where are you going to be? Like thinking about, I don't know, a cafe. It's like, well, you need to have a look around at like, what are the cafes in the area called? Like, how do you Google search. Like, can you, even at, like, I'm not talking about like paid SEO you would necessarily have, but you don't want to have a name that's kind of similar to someone else's in the area. You probably want something fairly unique. You want to be able to get all the social handles as well. Like, they super keen to start an Instagram account. It's like, okay, well, what would your handle be? Even that sort of thing can be valuable.
100%. Just simple things, like simple research can go a long way,
Yeah. Did you hear about the Thai restaurant? I don't know what country it was in, but they named their restaurant Thai Near Me.
Yeah, I saw that.
See
I saw
that one?
That's a meme now.
It's amazing. I love that so much. Anyone
So
in
now
the
when you
area
search
searching for Thai Near Me, they're just gonna like get bumped up. Even if it doesn't work, it's great because it's like a funny social kind of thing to share.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're very busy.
100%.
Alessandra's saying, I want to create a logo with my name, but I struggle because it's too long. You're about to change your name, yeah. That's an extreme lengths to go. It's tough. Like shorten it. You can do that. Should cut little bits off. Do like a FedEx thing instead of Federal Express. It's just FedEx. It's just Ellis Lopez.
So I'm just like throwing some graphics together, patterns, starting to add some of that text, seeing what it like looks like. We'll should get some time to do some mock-ups. Yeah, just throwing things together.
Nice. So got a couple of taglines to kind of like help show like the client like what it would look like if this was like an ad or maybe a part of your website or something.
Yep, exactly. So it's good to show examples.
Yeah.
Throw in your creative ideas. Like I saw there was a job ad on LinkedIn the other day, and it said looking for a like designer, content creator, but they want like someone with mad copywriting skills, but they're a designer. So it's like, people are expecting you to have some sort of copywriting skill, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it is important. I think a lot of, I don't know about other countries, but Australia, my experience with education, there's not a lot of time spent on copywriting within a graphic design. Maybe if you did a communications degree at uni, maybe that's a bit more, but definitely in tertiary, it was like not a lot of how to write. I think I graduated not being able to spell, so.
It's all right. I don't think I did too crazy in English.
So I think it is interesting, like the skills that some places like really put high up, like on their request. I do wonder if it's often sometimes where it's just like, well, it's not part of the course, so you could get through and do really well as a kind of designer without spending much time on it. But I definitely know designers, particularly those in the branding space, that are really like, if you can copyright as a designer, you're like twice as good.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You add way more value.
Yeah.
And you just understand it, because that's how like websites work and marketing, and it all like connects, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because you're like almost always, if not always, with like design and communication have words, right? To communicate. What is this? What's the message? What's the call to action? All that sort of thing. So understanding that and being able to write it would be hugely valuable, I would imagine.
Definitely.
So you're making artboards or are you making just boxes?
I'm just making boxes.
Making boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're working on just a giant artboard? Where's your artboard? All the way over there. Cool.
Yeah.
That's how I work too, as well. But I'm often find that I'm like just creating artboard after artboard after artboard.
Yep. Whatever's easy.
Yep.
Want to make a gradient?
We want to make sure that it's a bit of a longer stream today, so we're going to make sure we give Jeremy a little bit of a break and hands off the tools for about 5 minutes. So we're going to do a Q&A in somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes from now. So if anyone watching has any questions about branding, design, what Jeremy is doing today, copywriting, communication, get your artificial intelligence questions in. Just kidding. We'll stick to branding stuff. But yeah, if you've got anything, throw it in. I've got a handful of questions ready to go for Jeremy as well. Now's your chance.
Where is
Oh, this is cool. Okay, so Jedi in chat is saying, I'm trying to connect N, T, and S. So that's for the monogram. Just thinking about that.
N, T, and S.
That's not too bad.
The N and T would be doable, but
The S, yeah. Takes it from like a rigid geometric kind of thing, and then you've got all of the curves in the S. So yeah. Not the worst, but not the best, I'd say. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. I got some assets here I might want to use.
Oh, we did get a question. I missed it on YouTube from
Missed
Mick.
it?
Yes. Jeremy, would that be your final line breaks for the tagline?
Good question. Probably, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, this one's a simple. This one's a very short like tagline. I have multiple. Like I've got this one. I customized the tagline that it was a bit longer, so just like, it's this type of tagline is more punchy. It's like, you know, boom, 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 and I like using the full stops. Can add a bit of kerning here, tighten that up. But yeah, for now I'll just stick because I'm gonna run out of time. So for me, I'll just probably stick with that. I
blinked and this thing came from. Where did this come from? Is this the... I was reading chat.
Oh yeah, I grabbed it from this pack from LS Graphics, Abstraction.
Right. Cool.
So yeah, I could probably use it. It looks like a V a bit. I'm just trying to think where I could use it. Maybe most likely as like a texture. So maybe I could combine it or something, and then what I could do is like play around, maybe overlay, hard light.
It's got to be. Oh, it disappears because it's color tones are too close.
Yeah, so you can see without it, but if I put hard light, kind of looks pretty cool as like a texture. And then maybe go like,
This is like a futuristic clippy.
yeah, like a chat box thing. The fill is a bit, maybe I can drop the opacity, make it sort of like translucent.
And I see those questions, everyone, so thanks for those. We'll do Q&A. Up to you, Jeremy, how long you want to go, but it's maybe sometime in the next sort of 5 minutes. When you get to a spot you're happy with, we'll take a bit of a break.
Perfect. Graphic style, plus that together. Do, 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 do. Now this pattern, I think what I'm gonna do with it.
I love this about the pattern thing as well. We were talking about this when you're creating it, but yeah, you can always just go in and change it like so easily.
Yep, great. Love it. I make it into strokes. Get rid of the edges there. Oh, I can hear some music.
Oh, can you?
Some guitar.
That's it. Might be like different like frequencies, like kick through because it's like a guitar track or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'll change it to strokes just to make it look like similar to this stroke over here. Cool. Where I had a gradient somewhere. I think it disappeared. Oh, it doesn't matter.
I like that. It was almost like you were digitally looking under the rug for like where you
yeah, it's like
dropped your gradient.
Like, where's my gradient? Okay, cool. I'm digging this. Now, I think I might. I think I'm happy to do Q&A now if you want to.
Take a break. Yeah, let's take a break.
Take a break.
Before we do, what's this that we're in? Are we in Lightroom?
That's Adobe Bridge.
This is Bridge. That's right. Okay, always remember that. Every time I see you using Adobe Bridge, I'm like, oh, I really need to organize my files into Bridge. It's so much better. Don't see it all that often. Let's see if my new little Q&A thing that I set up before the stream works. Hey, there it does. Q&A break. All right. Hands down, bit of a break for Jeremy. We've got a couple of great questions. That's cool. And then we'll jump back into it. And then we'll do some more design for a little bit. So thanks for the questions, everyone. Luke, good to see you in chat as well. Hope you're doing well, my friend. What do you think of using AI to generate branding copy? Jeremy, what do you think about that?
I think it's amazing. I think a lot of the designers like that writing skill and ability. And so, and even clients are not good at it unless they've learned it or taken a course or something. So for me, 100% using something like ChatGPT, something like Jasper AI. There's a lot of different ones out there, but for me personally, I use ChatGPT. It's amazing. Create taglines, slogans, headlines. And when you get better with it, you can just learn to like customize it. And I think it's great. Like it's no one has copyright over words, right? So you can just use whatever words you want and then always tweak it later. So 100%, I think everyone should be using it.
Yeah, I find it very useful. Like more often than not, I'm not copy and pasting the entire thing, but it's quite a good spot to start. Like it reminds me quite a lot of like starting with a grid or starting with a template or something when you're designing, or like in this case, like we're starting with a font and then just iterating kind of on it. So I find it quite useful, not so much within branding, but in everyday kind of stuff. Yeah, it's useful. Thanks, Luke. That was a great question. Alessandra asks, what advice or tips for people like me who have a long name as a logo? How should I approach it? Awesome.
I feel your pain. One of the things that I would do is I would ask the client if we could potentially change it, if there's room for that. If not, what I would try to do is I wouldn't necessarily try and make an acronym, because a lot of like your audience or your general public might not understand an acronym, and it might be hard to say, and the way that the syllables and how to say it. So I would probably most likely do a stacked format or stacked text as a logo, because you don't want to have a long like horizontal logo. It's just not going to work, right? So I would break up the words, stack them, maximum 3 lines. Well, you could break that rule if you want, but typically I do like 2 or 3 lines if it's really long, and just try and keep it tight into like a nice square rectangle if you can do that. And you can put it with an icon or something. So that's what I personally would do. When it comes to like long names.
Nice. Perfect. I love that. That's great advice for a client. I think also, Alessandra, in your case, you're not going to change your name. So if it's a personal brand, you have to work it out. Like what Jeremy sort of said, having it super long, it's just the more you zoom out, the less legible it's going to be. I've definitely seen that solution of stacking things. And Luke was talking about ADR in the chat, which we were chatting about before. Yeah, it was like Australian Design Radio. So there was a stacked version that we could use, which is better for the internet when people are on their phones, vertical screens, stuff like that. So great questions. This is cool. Another one here. Was there a time, Jeremy, that you almost gave up on a project but kept going? What helped you get through the difficult time?
Oh man, yeah, it's happened a few times, a long time ago. I remember this client would not take any of my designs, and I was up to like the 8th, 9th revision, like a concept. I just started throwing out concepts like just for them to like, and yeah, I'm just like, man, is this really worth it? Like, just for like, I think it was like a $500 logo or something.
Yeah.
It was just like a small project. I'm like, I'm wasting my time. Like, what's the point of this? And I almost like felt like giving a refund back, like, because it's just like you get too frustrated sometimes.
Yeah.
Obviously now I'm mature. I'm selective with my clients. I don't have that problem anymore. But yeah, I just say, finish what you started, get it over and done with, get paid, and don't work with that client again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if it's maybe not the client, maybe if the client's all right, maybe it's just you're struggling, get feedback or help from another designer. Or maybe hire a designer if you've got some extra cash flow for an hour or something, just to like jump on board and throw some ideas at your way or something, you know?
Yeah.
That could
It's
help.
quite a good idea, like getting just another perspective, like especially when you're up to like the 8th revision or something, probably pulling your hair out, right? Like really not giving it your best after that. You're like, okay, what about this? Or what about this? Just like pick something so we can both move on. It's funny, isn't it? There's a bit of a meme, you've probably seen it, Jeremy, where it's like, you know, it's like a $500, $50 client or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and there's like 20,000 revisions, and it's like a $20,000 client. They're like, hey, did you get paid? You're like, yep. And they're like, cool, thanks. And they move on. Can be a bit so like
easy,
that.
Man.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, that was some great questions. And guys, let me just quickly check. There weren't any extra ones over here on YouTube. I know Johanna had some for me as well. Sure. So this is a great question, Johanna, that I saw you pop in for me before. How do you navigate clients that have a limited understanding of what you do, aka they ask you to do something that is not in your set of skills?
So there are something that it's not in your wheelhouse. I'd recommend just saying yes and then figuring it out on the way.
Right.
Because you can always learn the skill. Like if a client, like maybe you're not good at brand strategy or brand naming, you know, you can get help from a friend, you know, so just upcharge them and then bring your friend on board to help you do that. Or maybe buy a template that you could use that's already out there from another designer, and then you can learn how to do it in a day or two, and then do brand strategy or do the copywriting or whatever. So yeah, that's personally probably what I would do. That's why for me, I've had that philosophy of always developing myself, investing in myself, and growing and learning, because you always want to be skilled up, you know? So don't just stick with one thing, try and learn multiple skills to be multifaceted.
Yeah. And that's a great way just to continue to upgrade your skills, right? You're like, hey, I'm getting paid to learn this new thing that clients want. So really good time. And especially like, even if you do, in your case, like you said, I don't know, maybe it's someone like shooting a video or something, and you're like, well, I don't have that skills, or I don't have the great camera. It's only one project, maybe one. But you might hire someone, but also kind of learn quite a lot about the process, right? From that person. So maybe it comes up a whole bunch of times, and then maybe you add that to your repertoire.
Exactly.
That's cool. I like that. Maybe one more, and then we'll jump back in.
Awesome.
Do you prefer digital brands or real life ones in terms of branding and deliverables? So I guess the question is around, purely digital. We just need a logo. Everything's going to live online. Like, we don't have any plans to print anything at this stage to, I don't know, something that's like, hey, we've got an advertising campaign. We want you to do billboards and like wrap around a car, or, you know, whatever it is. What do you think? What's your favorite?
I think for me, it's mostly digital. I love just the digital space, having a functioning website, nice animations and beautiful design. I think for me, that's what's great. But you know, when you do a print design, you have something out in the world, it is fulfilling as well. Like I worked with a client last year. They needed like a vinyl wrap and some flyers and stuff, and t-shirts. But I still haven't seen it out in the world. Like I haven't gone out and like said hello to the client and whatever, because it was always just online and Zoom and stuff. But yeah, it's just a lot fulfilling when you see your work out there. It's like, wow, it's so cool. But printing, and you can run into a lot of issues with printing, and it can be expensive. So that's why I try and avoid it. But that's why I stick to digital now most days, like tech startups and stuff.
Yeah, I always get very nervous having anything printed at all. I'm like, it's not gonna turn out like correctly.
Exactly how you want it.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, thanks everyone. That's some great questions in there, and awesome answers, Jeremy. It's always great to have a chat. We're talking about websites just before. I'm going to ask you one more question as we go along. If a client comes to you and they say, hey, we want the brand, and we also want the website, like based on what you were saying before, I assume you say, yeah, I can get that together for you. what would you use? Just in curiosity, there's all sorts of platforms out there, right? It's like Squarespace, Wix, like for non-coders, Squarespace, Wix, Frame.io, not Frame.io, Framer. Yeah, what's your go-to?
My go-to is Webflow.
Webflow, that's the one that I forgot.
Yeah, that basically.
Yeah.
Right now, Framer is like on hotcakes right now. Everyone's like buying templates, making templates for it, using it because it's, I think, they've got AI and it's basically similar to Webflow, to be honest. But it's, similar pricing as well. But I think it's just a bit more easier for newcomers trying to get into like developing. But for me, I love Webflow. I build all my sites on that. And when clients come to me, I don't do WordPress. I don't do Squarespace. I only do Webflow. That's the only option you get. So,
nice.
I just love the flexibility. It's got a lot of functions and features, and they're constantly updating it. So for me, I'm going to stick with it. One of the things I feel like designers get stuck in is the whole shiny object syndrome. A new platform comes up or this new feature over here, and they just try and go to whatever is like cool and trending. But at the end of the day, try and just get really good with one app or one software and just be a gun at that. So when a client comes to you, you know what to do. You can smash it out fast. Yeah. And you can get results.
Yep. That's awesome. It's great advice. I like that a lot.
My pleasure.
All right. Let's we'll jump back in. So these are cool. What are these mock-ups for? Like, these are all, it's like melting or something. Oh, it's like a website. Yeah, it's like coming out the bottom. That's kind of cool. Yeah,
these mock-ups are really cool. They're actually from LS Graphics. I do have an affiliate with them. So if you guys want a discount code, you can DM me on Instagram or whatever. But
nice.
Like I vouch for these guys. They have amazing mock-ups, like just beautiful, that's really very cool. Uncommon, really great digital stuff, like high end. And this is just like Apple products and like screens. So they have like a whole bunch of other stuff. Like what else? They've got boards. Like I'll show you this one as well, really quick.
Nice.
Like signage.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like really unique, just like love it. The industrial style, just it looks amazing.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's like a marble looking sign before that looked so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. This is like your cultural brands or like, City of Sydney or, festival or, that sort of, there's a lot of cool ones in there. Yeah, like workshop events.
Yeah.
Like a library or something. I don't know. It's really cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Great. I'm always blown away by like the people that create that. Like, how do you get into that? Like, must just be like amazing at Photoshop, right? Like to create that stuff.
Yeah, they're great at product photography and Photoshop.
Yeah.
I think that's how they make them really, and they just make the smart objects and keep it really cool. All right, I'm trying to look for a screen just so I can do like maybe a web mock-up or something. I don't know if I want to use the scroll one, but yeah, maybe we'll go for this one. So I'm gonna load up Photoshop. I've got some of these assets here. So I've got like this pattern, some text, the logo. That. Double click on background color, you can change that. Or maybe I want to just use this dark color.
Like picking a color from the branding doc and then using it as the background.
Yeah.
Nice.
It might be a little bit too dark. Just leave it as is. Maybe we should go back to white. I don't know, I'll leave it on white for now, I think. All right, cool. So I'm gonna double click on Smart Object. $1920 by 1080. I'll just make a quick. I'll just do it a quick box. But first,
Got to get it in here somehow first, right?
Yeah, I think they've done it as a 3D. There we go.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
So because this is a 3D object, you can see the scene, the smart object is hidden within this. So you just double click on the change this section.
Right.
Yeah, it's a bit of uncommon, because usually mockups just have like a smart object, you double click and
You
then
just double click it and then it opens. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I can do is go to canvas size by Control Alt C, and then I'm just gonna copy.
Oh, so that's how you get the exact dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Takes the guesswork out of it.
Yep. Basically.
Nice. And are you making an artboard or are you making a
Just making
box?
a board for now because
Yeah.
sometimes the artboard, when it gets stuck with other stuff, it's gonna mess up. So now what I
It's
can do-
huge.
It is huge. One trick you can do, if you go to the sizing, you can just type -2 and it will divide by 2. So it will half the pixel size.
Oh, nice.
Because it'll be too big. Yeah, a bit of maths, guys.
I saw something similar in Photoshop and I didn't actually know you could do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same
It works for
same-
all Adobe apps, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah. There's like, you can put in like formulas and stuff. Like you can do like multiply as well, I think.
Wow.
And you can do percentage. I can't remember what the percentage symbol is, but yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's amazing how much there's that you just don't know. So much under the hood.
Always something. All right, so I got something going here. So I'm just dragging, holding Alt and Shift, and then bringing my assets. I might make a clipping mask and put Vox, the 3D girl, here. Press escape. So now I've got clipping mask. I can click on this box here and go to appearance, go FX and go drop shadow. But I don't know if it's gonna work because it's in a group. Let's see if it does this.
Do you think this is how Alexa looks like?
Siri / Alexa.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like how long ago like all that stuff came out, like Alexa, Siri and everything, and it seems like nothing, they haven't updated in like 5 years. And now we've got AI and it feels like they should have some sort of like relationship, but they don't seem to yet.
Yeah, I reckon we're gonna have holograms soon, and then it's gonna be like you're gonna have it in your living room and it'll pop up and it'll like talk to you, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what I think, but hey, see what happens.
Just wanted to help with like the mundane stuff, like doing my taxes and I don't know.
Yeah, that would be good.
Tell me what's in the fridge and what I can cook if I don't leave the house. That's what I want.
Yeah. What's my chance of survivability today?
Right. Yes, exactly.
What do I got?
Before I leave the house, I want it to pop up and be like, hey, by the way, if you want to have a coffee tomorrow morning, you better get milk today. Like,
You're gonna,
like
running
that.
low.
Yeah. My dream is file management. My dream is just like I could just work off my desktop, be a total mess, and then like it just cleans it up overnight for me.
Oh,
and
that would be
like
that'd be
files
something.
everything away in like a really logical kind of way. It must be able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be really cool, I reckon.
my suggestion, and I actually have made this suggestion because I think it's a really cracking idea, because we talk about naming our files, like naming our layers all the time.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Adobe Live, obviously, is I want integration where like you start a new file, you start designing stuff on it, and then it names it for you based on the content that you're putting in it.
Dude, and that would be great. AI would be powerful.
That would be crazy in Photoshop, right? Like you've got like 50, like, photo manipulators or illustrators or something. I think it'd be so cool. It's like, yeah, this is line work.
Yeah.
Cool. Just call it line work. Like as you're going, I think it'd be great.
But yeah, all the photo manipulators would love that because you can have like 200 layers and then you get lost. Like, where is everything? Like,
yeah, like automatically group stuff for you as well. Like, imagine that.
Yeah, exactly.
It cleans it up where it's like, oh, you've got like a couple of layers, but there's nothing on it, or this could be a group. Should we make this a group? That'd be cool.
Yeah, 100%.
A boy can dream. Alessandra says, stayed in a hotel and everything in the room was connected to Alexa, even the curtains. Wow.
What?
Curtains, that's cool. Unless you're talking to your sleep and you're like opening the curtains like in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't think I've been in a hotel with that.
No, me either.
That would be cool.
So we're creating like a button. This is like our call to action.
Making a bed in.
When you're designing a website, would you, like, let's say you did this mock-up and you sent it to the client, they went, yeah, cool, this is great. Would you continue to kind of, I guess, design, using air quotes, like the website in Illustrator? Or would you start like jumping into, for example, like Webflow, where you're like, I'm going to start from this template, it kind of looks similar to what we had, and start tweaking it from there, and just like, because it's faster rather than like continuing to design?
Yeah, so for me, sometimes if it's a simple website, I'll just jump straight to Webflow. There's a great tool called reloom.io. They have a library of components. There's also and there's also free versions and stuff that you can download, but I'll use that, and you can just copy and paste the exact design on their library. They even have a Figma library, so it's all connected, and I can just paste it in Webflow, and it'll just put the layout there. So it'll put all the div boxes and the flex boxes for me, and then I just got to go in, change the colors, fonts, change the images and stuff. So it's basically the structure, the bones of it, and it makes it so much faster. But if it's a full client, a big website with the full design, custom design, I'll use Figma or Illustrator, really, because it's similar. And then I'll move on to like doing the development after we've approved all the design.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Do you ever find something? I've never used Webflow. Do you ever find something like you're in there and you're like, this design that I kind of did doesn't quite work, and you have to go back to the client? Or is it flexible enough that you can do pretty much anything that you've like mocked up?
It's very flexible. Like,
yeah.
I've been able to do like anything basically. And if I didn't know how to do it, I would like look at tutorials and stuff and figure it out.
Right. I had that issue back in the day with Squarespace. I was like, if I just do this and this, and then kind of get in there and I'm like, it's not really, can't really do what I want it to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Can do most things. I'm not bagging it, but my creativity was beyond my capability. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. All right, so I'll go back to Photoshop. I'll just paste it as a smart object. Just gonna hold shift. You can tell it's lagging a bit. Like the preview is like glitching.
Yeah. Because it's a smart object with like all that gradient stuff in the background, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, come on. And then click S. Place. Maybe. Oh no, it's because I didn't place it first. That's why. I think. Oh.
What are you seeing? What's happening?
No, never mind. Okay, cool. We're good.
Nice.
So you can see there, it looks pretty cool.
Nice.
It's like dark blue or something. We got the bottom section. What I'm gonna do, solid color, and just drop this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could probably just get away with just having just the color there.
Yep. So we can drop that in, which is cool. And then, yeah, I could probably put some like assets down the bottom or something. Website. Put down butter elements.
Just something that looks like a footer with lots of like hyperlinks and stuff, and you'd be done.
Yeah. Let's see.
We used to have a thing when we were doing UI courses and stuff, like for anyone's portfolio. It's just amazing how much putting something in a mock-up and putting like a header and a footer on it would make it look like a website.
Yep. Definitely, like
Makes a huge difference.
100%. I could put an illustration. Just say UI futuristic website or something. Got 3D objects. And this is where design, like, you really got to spend time and like
Spoil it with choice because there's so much there.
I know, too much. Should I just put a pattern? Stuff it, I'll chuck this. Wait, did it download?
When you use Envato, it always says like, what project are you downloading this for? Does that still come up? Does that come up for you too?
Yeah, it does. I don't want it to pop up.
Yeah. I've used it enough now that I'm kind of like, should I just keep making new projects for this, or should I just make it like design and just download everything into the same thing? I don't know.
Yeah, because like I didn't really use the collection function, so it's just like kind of,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna double click on this illustration. I'm gonna use the magic wand. Actually, well, I'll go select same fill color, and I'll change the white maybe to the gray or something, because it's a bit too.
Can you show that again? Just how you selected all of and very quickly changed all those colors to the colors that you wanted?
Sure.
You don't have to do it again from scratch, but just the steps there, I think would be really cool.
So you just want to select whatever shape. So I'm just using the selection tool, selecting that shape. Go select same, and then click fill color, and you've got a whole bunch of options. So stroke color, weight, blending mode, all that stuff. So for me, I'll click fill color, and then just click the swatch, and it will change everything. And so everything
with that color.
Correct.
Nice.
So then you can see we've got like, you can change it to whatever color we want, really. Yeah, it's an amazing tool. I think I'll just go with this blue and the red. Green. There's a lot of blues, but And the reason why I don't use the sometimes the magic wand tool doesn't do it properly. So you can see it didn't pick up some of the colors. So just keep that in mind as well.
There's a lot going on in this particular image. There's like a lot of different colors
there's like
as well.
Yeah, there's just too much. And then I can probably just go back to Photoshop. And then I can just drop in as pixels, whatever. Press Control S to save it. So you can see, it's popping up at the start there. And the bottom. Actually, no, I'll just go. Got my design library, go vector, and then we've got icons. Futuro collections, really pretty good. So I've got like all these icons.
Lots of icons, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I have AI icons in this version, but let's see if I can find like a microphone or like a voice thing or something. Or I could just maybe create one myself. Hotel, tourism, outdoor, knowledge. Digital marketing. Just take some of these ones.
Futuristic looking icons. Yep.
Yeah,
it works.
Rust job for now, guys. Nah, it's alright. Is there any other questions or anything, or?
Yeah, throw them in chat if there is any more questions. Alessandra's saying she loves how organized you are, Jeremy. I assume with all the files and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time Jeremy comes on, I'm like, I really need to invest in Bridge and like put everything in there.
Trust me, it makes your life a lot easier, guys.
Yeah. I'm very, very good at my file management system.
Yep.
For just about everything, but it doesn't work great for like actual design. Like a design's such a small part, unfortunately, of what I do these days.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
whenever I see it, but I do it enough that it's like I really need to just like get a weekend or something, sit down, reorganize everything, and put it into Bridge, so that when I do have that design hat on for that like 5-10%, I like am much more efficient at it rather than
100%. Yeah, it really does take like a whole weekend or like just a week of the holidays just to sit down and do it all like properly.
I used to do that every year. Every year I would like, as soon as it was like Christmas holidays or something, I'd go, oh yeah, I'm gonna like spend a couple of days just cleaning my computers up, like fixing files, backing things up, getting rid of files I don't need, getting excited, like starting a new notes app or something.
Yeah.
But it's harder when you got kids. That's family time. So it's like
yeah, you know it. It's it requires a lot of effort. And then finding the time, like even for me, I've got like assets that I don't even use. I'll use this like the same, for example, icon packs, but I have all these other random ones I haven't used in like years. So it's like, what's the point of me keeping it? Should I just delete it off my computer to save space? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder if it'd be one of those things where like throwing out a cable that you never use and then like the week after you need it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I've been getting rid of stuff actually recently. Just selling stuff on Facebook, like just sold a camera lens the other day. Just selling like old microphones I don't use, just like getting rid of stuff, man. So I'm just dropping in some text here where I put those like icons.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of the tips, like what clients love, like icons and everything visual. Like I did a project about a week ago. I was on an infographic for this agency that I was working with a client, and they had a PDF, right, with they had to put a graphic into a PDF, but like there was no icons. It was just like text and a few squares, and it didn't look like appealing because I was trying to break down a complex, like how, like the process of how like the app like makes things faster, what for this specific thing. And yeah, she's like, just make it visual. We need icons and everything. And then in the end, like it looked way better than not having any icons and all those little details. Great. I added some gradients, played around with the text, colored the text, you know, contrast. Made a big difference.
Yeah. And as you were saying, like the client gets so excited seeing it like that, right? Like it looks like a real thing now. So suddenly this kind of idea or, you know, just thought or, you know, oh, we're going to start this business or, you know, we're going to do this project or whatever it is. And then suddenly you kind of bring it to life. They can get really, really excited about it.
Yep, exactly. Might just change the stroke a bit. Copy and paste this. Drop it. Cannot move the layer. It's not selected. Smart object. Whoa.
Oh, we got a good question, by the way. Here.
Right. Yeah, go for it.
How much do current tech trends influence the work that you do?
Current tech trends. Ooh, like design tech trends or just like apps?
Well, you could take it either way. Like I would assume things like, I mean, I guess we've already spoken about like ChatGPT and AI and stuff, and you obviously embrace it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I would take it in that way.
That's what I'll do. I'd embrace things, but as again, like, don't go too deep, like shiny objects, like, you know, balance it out. Only try and, like, for me, I would just try and find the best ones on the market right now that actually are good, and then just use that. But I will play around with a few other ones, like, so I know if someone needs something or if I need a specific thing, I'm like, oh, I used this tool like a couple of weeks ago. I know it's really good with this specific thing. Like there's one app that like is really good at product shots. It does it automatically with just prompts, and like it's amazing. It makes 3D and everything. So
cool.
But yeah, as I'm saying, like I'm always trying to look for great tools. But for me, like even using Adobe, I love Adobe. They have all the great, like everything I need when it comes to design. So I don't really try and jump on any new like design tools or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what you're talking about with Webflow, right? You're like this new kind of new shiny, but it's like I know that I can do all this stuff in Webflow, so I'm gonna stick to it. It can be very hard though as well. Like where do you spend your time, like investing in like new tech or new processes and things, because you don't want to fall behind. But yeah,
exactly.
Once you've got something that works really well, it's good to stick to as well. So
100%.
It's cool. I really like the colors in that mock-up.
Love orange, man. Orange is the best.
Here we go. This is a cool question, off topic. I like it. A little bit of a relaxing question. If you couldn't do the career you're doing now, what else do you think you would be doing, Jeremy?
I reckon I would be doing music production or sound engineering.
Oh, cool. That's a good
video
one.
editing. Yeah. So either video editing for like a YouTuber or like movies, or doing sound production, making beats. Yeah, for music and stuff like that. So
that's cool. Do you have a background in music, or is that just like that's what you would do? Like
yeah, I do. I grew up with my mum. She was like used to play for she used to actually sing. Right. She used to play music at church and stuff, but she also used to like sing choir and like sing on stage and stuff.
Nice.
So I grew up playing piano and singing, and then I was a DJ for a while. I started DJing in year 8. So
year 8.
Yeah, bro. I was like one of the OGs, man.
That's awesome. Did you have a DJ name?
Yeah, it was Mura.
Mura, yes.
Mac Mura. So my last name and just
Mac Mura. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna change your title here in the thing too.
Do it. That'd be funny, man.
Where'd the Mac come from? Because you're just
Oh,
macking
my
on those
cousin.
beats.
Yeah, macking on those beats. Like it's because I used to hang out with my cousin. He was, he was a bit of a funny guy.
Yeah,
Um,
character.
yeah, he's a bit of a character. Picking up chicks in the city and all that stuff. So I was like, yeah, Mac,
Gotta
bro.
be a DJ. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta like, yeah, macking on those, beats, those girls and whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Know
kind
the
of lame,
type.
but oh well.
That's so funny. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great. Just gonna prove you can't see this, Jeremy, but I'm just gonna prove to the audience that I have updated your name here for the stream to
Wow.
Mac Mura.
Nice. Yeah, do it's funny. See what they say. Look at this Mac guy. Well, it's like Mac Miller. You know the rapper Mac Miller?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Speaking of Macs, have you heard Harry Mack before? Have you seen him?
Yeah, bro. He's amazing, man.
My
I was actually watching him the
goodness.
other day.
Yeah.
Man, he's rapping, bro. He's just I love it.
My word, I cannot believe how good he is.
Dude, his brain is like on another level, man.
It's another
Like,
level, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, he's really developed his talent and skill. Yeah, super fun watching like the words and stuff. It's cool.
It's great just seeing like people's reactions and everything.
Yeah. Like people don't understand like freelance rap, not freelance, freestyle rapping is hard.
Yeah.
Like I can rap a bit, but it's like you need to understand like vocabulary and different concepts and words that connect together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like, and also you got to know flow and rhythm, that makes a difference too.
Mhm.
So
It's impressive stuff.
impressive. Makes for great content.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys haven't seen and you're into that sort of thing, Harry Mack, just search it, and just walks around and basically does freestyle raps for people. But the stuff he comes up with, like off the top, is
Off the dome,
crazy. Off the top of the dome, as he says.
Off the dome, man.
Says it every time.
Yeah.
No food and no animals, because everyone always gives him food and animal names.
Yeah, it's always like same.
Yeah. This is cool. What's this mock-up for? Is this for like a phone? Yeah.
Yep, this one's gonna be a
For the
phone.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm just using some of those elements once again, and just copy pasting, dropping it in Photoshop, pasting my design.
Nice. Johanna in chat, I wonder if rapping could make you a better copywriter. Yeah, it would help. Right?
It would actually, 100%. I agree with that.
I like that a lot. When I was in design school, the best designer that we had, because he was just amazing at typography more than anything else, was a graffiti artist.
Oh, wow.
And that was his background. So like he just had, so much experience like working with type. It was just a huge advantage that he had.
That's cool.
I thought he was the best designer in our school anyway.
So we've got a bit of a mock here, and what I can actually do is add a bit of a blur. So I'll go filter, I'll go tilt shift.
Oh, tilt shift blur, cool.
Yep.
It's
And
gonna
I'll put
take a
it,
sec because it's a smart object or something, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to upgrade my computer, I think. It's only 3 years old, but
It's all those files in Bridge. Nah, I'm just kidding.
yeah, I've got Bridge, Photoshop, AI, Illustrator, and then Chrome also like requires a lot.
Yeah, you're also streaming as well, which will be taking a lot of your CPU.
Correct. So
Wants to take all of it. So
yeah, it'd be good to get that nice i9 1300K.
yeah, I need to upgrade mine as well. I think I'm just going to add some pieces to it though. Because you're PC, aren't you?
Yep,
The
PC.
PC, yeah.
Yep.
I just need to
I'm
get
running an AMD, 8 cores, and then I got an RTX 3080.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah, it is pretty good. But if I'm doing editing or like, you know, crazy Photoshop stuff, then. But hey, it does most stuff for it though. Fine. What I've been noticing is that some of my files, like in my video libraries, I've got like lots of sound effects and visuals and stocks. Like it's like loading like this, and I can't select the files. Like it takes like a minute, like not a minute, but like sometimes like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. It's annoying.
Feels like a really long time, doesn't it? It doesn't
Yeah,
sound like much when you say it out loud, but when you're working and you're trying to click something, it's like, ah.
Yeah. To me, it's like, 20 seconds feels like hours, minutes.
That's awesome.
So I added a bit of a blur. Got that mock-up, got this mock-up. I think it's looking kind of cool.
It's looking pretty cool. Nice.
From our initial. You can see a lot of these fonts are thinner. I reckon I probably should have went with a thinner font, but hey, it doesn't matter. What else can I do? I've got sort of the pattern.
We don't have a ton of time left, so it's up to you. We can, if you think you got enough time to add something else to it, we can go for it. But we can also kind of just have a look through what we've done today. So it's entirely up to you.
Cool. Let's go back to here. Maybe we can do. Do a version of the logo with just like tagline.
How many like assets or kind of different mock-ups or examples would you generally send a client? Like obviously for some projects, they'll tell you exactly what it is, but if they don't know, like if they're not really sure, do you have like a set amount that you like want to send over?
I don't have a set amount. I'll at least do like 3 mocks, 3
Right.
mock-ups. That's typically, well, actually, yeah, that's sort of my minimum amount. I do like 3 mockups at least. And if it's a client I'm really trying to impress, like maybe they might give me some more work or like it'll be a good referral, then I'll just do extra. Like I try and make the presentation nice and everything nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's like a key client, you go a little bit above and beyond because the relationship has value as well as the like monetary value for the brief.
That's right. Exactly. So we could have a horizontal version. We could have this version. We'll have just a word mark. We could even pull this out. It'd be cool to do like maybe like a little thing.
Going back to the original.
Yeah, I'm going back. Seeing if I can do something with it. Man. Just go on pixels, find an image maybe, and then we'll see if I can like. go. Dun, 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 dun.
Just a little ad for Canva in the middle of an Adobe Live.
Oh, is there? Oh,
Yeah, it
how
just
dare
popped
you,
up.
Canva. Burn it with fire.
This is funny.
That's funny.
Unintentional, not sponsored. Not an ad.
It's not an ad.
It's too funny. Maybe no one would have noticed it if I didn't even say it.
I see Canva ads everywhere now. It's crazy.
So, kind of trying to do a mock-up. It's kind of a little bit more like an ad or something, or like showing someone using the voice assistant.
Yeah, like an ad type of, maybe like a social media Instagram shot.
Yeah. Checking in with chat. Hey Gareth, how you doing? Good to see you. And Alessandra, thanks for hanging out with us. I know you got to go, so we'll catch you in the next one.
See you guys. Thanks for coming on.
Hey Gareth, how's the Adobe Firefly Discord going? I always see you in there.
Are you talking to me?
Oh no, sorry, someone in chat, Gareth.
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 I was double checking. I'm like, wait, I think it's someone else.
No, just checking in with chat. See Gareth in the Adobe Firefly Discord. It's like 400,000 people in that Discord now.
Wow, that's crazy. I was in there the other day. That's why I'm like, I was thinking about it. I was because I'm working on a Skillshare class, and I'm doing a bit of Adobe Firefly in there, showing people how to use it. And
cool.
Yeah.
What's the Skillshare class about, like broadly?
It's about AI.
Branding and using AI within.
Yep.
That's topical. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's in demand at the moment, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Might as well like do something on that.
Are you including like how to prompt in there? I feel like that's like the biggest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. I think that would be a big one. Gareth, it's calmed down a lot lately. Cool. The craziest was when not very many people had access, right? And then the only thing you could do is go to Discord and ask.
Yeah.
Please, can I have access today? I'm glad it opened up to everyone. Speaking of Firefly, we have a Firefly stream tomorrow with Johanna at 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock Sydney time. So basically it'll be finishing up right now tomorrow. So jump in, join that. We always have a great time with those. Johanna will be chairing that one. I will hopefully be in the chat. We'll be hanging out. It is always interesting. Jeremy, we've been challenging ourselves to kind of do a different topic and use Adobe Firefly or a bit of AI to help us along.
Cool.
And it's been fun. It's been a really good time.
That's awesome. AI,
like what we're talking
AI
about before.
is like.
Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say like AI, I feel like AI has brought back sort of that spark for some people, like the creative, because it just like you can create so many like cool new things. It gives you like. It's a good way to get like ideas fast and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I've definitely found that just through our streams. Not someone that uses, I have no reason to use Photoshop basically in my day to day. And so I'm always super rusty. But it's been quite fun, like jumping in there and actually like, I don't know, dusting off the cobwebs and like getting into a bit more of a workflow with things. And it's funny how quickly you pick everything back up.
100%.
Cool.
That's awesome. Generative fills. Have you been playing around with generative fill much or?
Yeah, a lot. Yep. So I've been doing some like out painting streams and in painting streams and stuff, which was like totally new to me at the time.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun. Little plug, in 2 weeks actually I'll be doing another one. Because there might be something else coming along. I don't know. Who knows?
Cool.
Yes, that should be fun. What's the theme, Johanna? Oh, you've just posted it. Great. So Johanna's going to be doing Dream Mid-Century Modern Inspired Home. Awesome. Interested to see where you take that. This is cool. Just jumping back onto what we're seeing here. I really like it's like a pop-up of what they're seeing on the screen, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or some sort of visual representation.
Yeah, because it's like a bot, like, you know, it's a companion in your pocket. You can ask her, sort of like Siri thing, but it's your own custom like voice bot. So that's why I'm like pulling this out and showing like how it could look in the real world. I grabbed one of the icons. That might put something on the other side. And then just want to make it a little bit darker. Do 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 do. And then maybe I'll go. Texture.
I thought you were in Lightroom for a second there, and I was like, man, you're jumping around every app. I had to go and check. It's like, it's all right. It's just Photoshop, and you've brought up the sliders. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, this actually feels faster than usual.
We've probably got another couple of minutes, and then we'll have to wrap up.
Beautiful.
If we've got time, we should do a quick little recap, I think, of what you've
Perfect.
achieved today.
Let's do it.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. I'm shocked. All right, Vox AI, intelligent voice assistant. So these are some of the mood board. We pulled some of the assets from there, going for sort of like this line look, using some blues. This was like our 3D character. Played around with some typography, coming up with the logo type. We ended up creating a logo type like this. Created sort of secondary icons, which is cool. Some different variations, patterns. We use sort of these, the 3D with like some abstract textures in there, and this V, in the shape of a V, this like extra like motif there, the lines. Here's an example of just a simple tagline with the logo and a grainy background, which looks cool, very futuristic. Then we put some of these designs on like a couple mock-ups. So we've got sort of this, like, could be for a website or something like that. Obviously I didn't put a nav bar, but that's fine. And on a phone, and then just like a quick ad, maybe on like Instagram or something,
Yeah.
And I'd probably just chuck the logo like on the side there, top left or whatever. So just an example, but yeah, that's the final results. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it today. Hopefully it was entertaining and you learned something too. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely did. So, and thank you everyone for the questions throughout today. Big thank you to Jeremy, aka Mac Mura, for helping us out today. It's awesome. It's a marathon. It's a big, it's a long journey that we've taken in a very short amount of time. And we all really appreciate your time, and we can't wait to have you here once again on Adobe Live. So thanks. Yeah, that wasn't a sign off. Sorry, it sounded like a sign off.
I sound like a sign off. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, this is the sign off. Thank you everybody, and we'll see you, Jeremy, next time on Adobe Live. See you later, everybody. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.